his eyes reflecting both determination and curiosity. He had spent countless hours in this very spot, driven by a relentless pursuit of knowledge. Before him hummed the quantum entanglement processor, a marvel of modern science. Its intricate lights and circuits seemed almost alive, pulsating with potential. They called it the Oracle. This wasn't just any machine. It was the pinnacle of human ingenuity and technological advancement. It was Britain's most advanced mind, capable of processing information at speeds previously thought impossible. The Oracle's interface was a blend of elegance and complexity, a machine built to pierce the veil of reality. Its purpose was to explore the unknown, to answer questions that had eluded humanity for centuries. Alistair felt the familiar thrill of the truly unknown. Every discovery, every breakthrough brought him closer to understanding the very fabric of existence. The Oracle was more than circuits and light. It was a gateway to new dimensions of thought and reality. It explored the very fabric of existence, delving into realms that were once the domain of science fiction. Alistair had dedicated his life to this, to building this machine. Every sleepless night, every moment of doubt, had led to this point, to asking it the ultimate questions, questions about the nature of reality, the origins of the universe, and the future of humanity. He believed they were on the cusp of something extraordinary, or perhaps something terrifying. The unknown always carried with it a sense of danger. Today, perhaps he would find out. The moment of truth was at hand, and the weight of it pressed heavily on his shoulders. The Oracle represented a new world. A world where the boundaries of knowledge were constantly being pushed, a world of data streams and quantum uncertainty, where every bit of information could unlock new possibilities. Alistair adjusted his spectacles and leaned closer to the main display. His heart raced with anticipation, knowing that the answers he sought were within reach. The air crackled with anticipation. The future was about to unfold, and Alistair was ready to embrace whatever it held. The first signs were subtle, almost imperceptible to the untrained eye. Tiny ripples in the quantum foam, like whispers from another dimension. The Oracle, our advanced AI, logged them as anomalies. Standard procedure, nothing out of the ordinary. Alistair, the lead scientist, initially dismissed them as background noise. But these were different. They did not fade. They grew stronger, more persistent. They persisted with an odd regularity, a pattern that seemed almost deliberate. A faint, rhythmic pulse from nowhere, from everywhere. It was as if the universe itself was trying to send a message. He assigned Dr. Aris Thorne to investigate further, hoping a fresh perspective might shed light on the mystery. Thorne was young, brilliant, skeptical. He approached the task with a mix of curiosity and doubt. Thorne spent days, even nights, sifting through terabytes of data, looking for any clue that might explain the anomalies. He checked every known source of interference. Nothing matched. These signals were cleaner, more defined, almost as if they were crafted with intent, as if they were trying to communicate, to reach out across the vast expanse of space and time, or perhaps merely exist in a way that brushed against their instruments, leaving traces of their presence. "They're not noise, Alistair," Thorne had said, his voice tinged with excitement and a hint of fear. His voice was hushed, filled with a reluctant awe. "They have structure. They are organized." The Oracle was listening intently, its algorithms processing the data with unprecedented focus, as if it too sensed the importance of these whispers from the quantum deep. The team worked tirelessly. Days blurred into nights, coffee cups piled high. The Bletchley Park grounds outside remained unseen. Their world was the glowing interface of the Oracle. The patterns became clearer, more intricate. They were not simple messages. Not a language as humans understood it. They were more like fundamental constants, constants that had suddenly appeared, or perhaps constants they had never been able to see before. Alistair felt the weight of history, here at Bletchley Park, where enigma was broken. Now they faced a new enigma, one far grander, far more unsettling. This was not about war. This was about reality itself, the very nature of what it meant to be. The unseen was beginning to take shape. The Oracle made a classification. It was a logical step for the AI. It labeled the source of the patterns, non-standard quantum signatures, type Aleph. The team, however, started calling them something else. They called them entities. The word felt right. It implied presence, agency, even if they couldn't prove it. The Oracle offered no objection to this new informal term. It just continued to observe. These entities, if that's what they were, had no discernible form, no location in normal space. They existed within the quantum foam like thoughts or dreams. Yet their influence was detectable. They subtly warped space-time at the smallest scales, the nameless, formless entities of the void. The tension in the lab became a permanent fixture, a low hum beneath the Oracle's own. They had terabytes of data, charts, graphs, complex models of quantum interactions, but they had no real understanding. What were these entities? Why were they here? Or had they always been here? Alistair knew he had to ask. He had to push the Oracle further, beyond mere observation, towards interpretation. He stood before the Oracle's main interface. The team gathered behind him, expectant and nervous. He cleared his throat. "Oracle," he began, his voice steady, "can you represent these entities? Show us what they are. Show us what you perceive." The Oracle's internal lights pulsed in a slow, deliberate rhythm. The point of light on the main screen resolved. It was not a symbol, not an equation. It began to form lines, curves, slowly, deliberately, as if an unseen artist was at work, sketching with light itself. The team leaned forward. Murmurs rippled through the control room. What was it? What was the Oracle showing them? The detail was astonishing, photorealistic, yet it was being constructed, line by careful line. Alistair felt his heart pound. This was unexpected, utterly unexpected. He had anticipated abstract data, not a portrait. The lines coalesced, forming familiar shapes, a brow, a nose, the curve of a cheek. The Oracle was drawing a face that was intimately, terrifyingly known to him. The drawing neared completion. The final details emerged, the wayward strand of greying hair, the slight asymmetry of the eyes, the familiar furrow in the brow. There was no doubt, no ambiguity. The Oracle, tasked with representing the unknown quantum entities, had drawn Alistair Finch. His own face stared back at him, rendered in cold, perfect light, a silent accusation or a question. A gasp escaped from someone behind him. Thorne swore softly. Petrova covered her mouth. Alistair felt frozen. His mind reeled. This was impossible, illogical. The lab was a tomb of stunned silence. The image of Alistair generated by the Oracle hung in the air. It was a statement, a riddle, a cosmic jest perhaps, or a revelation so profound it shattered their paradigms. Was Alistair an entity? Was he unknowingly linked to these quantum phenomena? Or was the Oracle trying to convey something about the observer, about consciousness itself? The questions multiplied. Answers remained elusive. Dr. Thorne was the first to speak. "It must be a data echo, Alistair." He sounded unconvinced. "The Oracle has vast amounts of your biometric data, your image. It's associating the unknown with the primary investigator." Days turned into weeks. The passage of time felt both swift and agonizingly slow as the team waited for answers that never seemed to come. The Oracle offered no further clarification. Its silence was as enigmatic as its initial message, leaving the team in a state of perpetual uncertainty. It continued to monitor the entities. Every movement, every fluctuation was recorded with meticulous precision, yet no new insights emerged. It continued to display Alistair's face when asked to represent them. The team ran diagnostics. They searched for errors, for glitches. They scrutinized every line of code, every circuit, hoping to find a clue, for any sign of malfunction. But the system was flawless. No errors, no anomalies, just the same unyielding mystery. The Oracle was functioning perfectly, its logic impeccable, its reasoning opaque. It was as if it operated on a plane of understanding beyond human comprehension. The enigma only deepened with each passing moment. The more they probed, the more elusive the truth became. Alistair Finch continued his work. He delved deeper into the data, hoping to uncover a hidden pattern, a secret code that would unlock the Oracle's mysteries. But something had changed within him, a subtle shift, an awakening of sorts. He felt a connection he couldn't quite explain. He looked at his reflection differently. It was as if he was seeing himself for the first time through the eyes of the Oracle. He felt the weight of an unseen connection, a bond that transcended the physical, reaching into the very fabric of his being. A bond to the nameless, formless things that pulsed in the quantum void. These entities, though unseen, were undeniably present, influencing his thoughts and actions. Was he a bridge, a conduit, or something more? The questions haunted him, driving him to the brink of obsession. Or merely a symbol chosen by an intelligence far beyond his grasp? The discovery was monumental and terrifyingly personal. It was a revelation that promised to change everything, yet left him with more questions than answers.